Raazu's not looking healthy.
I mean, you're looking very loved, though. And you're no longer lost.
No, please.
Birdie, Raazu has been found.
Quite literally, this is killing me, you guys.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to run for... Can I give Raazu a potion?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I give her the potion of etherealness.
Of etherealness. Interesting. So in the grand cosmology of the planes, this will actually work because the Shadowfell and the Feywild both touch the ethereal plane. I don't expect any of you to actually know what that means or care.
Destil knows. Destil cares.
So the question is this the same ethereal plane that Trennis is hooked up to, and it's full of demon monsters that will demon worms that will kill me?
Do you want an actual answer to that question?
Not really.
Okay.
I do.
They hadn't worked out all the bugs, okay?
I have an actual answer to that question. I'm just how detailed do you guys need me to be?
I know you do, and that's why we love you.
I mean, do they share a deep ethereal or just a...
Alright, I'm going to trust that you have access to something that you can read what the etherealness spell does.
Right.
Yep, I've got Player's Handbook in front of me here.
Immediately, though, I see no way for you to be grappled by this thing any longer.
Sure, that's good. I like
Because
it.
you are now ethereal. And so there's just this snap sound as this thing's sickle arms click together. Is there still like a ghostly outline of Raazu standing there, or is she just invisible now?
Pretty sure on the material we can't see anything.
Yeah. You cannot be perceived. They cannot interact with you unless they have some ability to do so. You ignore all objects and effects, blah, 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 blah. So you tip this potion into Raazu's gullet. Hobgoblins have gullets. And she vanishes. And suddenly you hear this snap as this thing's sickle arms click together. And it looks around a little bit frantically and confusedly and says, "Lost! Lost!"
So Raazu was expecting a healing potion, and this was not healing potion.
Birdie, moving or staying put?
Cutting action, disengage, and back over here.
If there's one creature I should have given Sentinel, it's definitely this one. Okay, that's going to bring us to Adrex.
Alright, you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm flying up 20 feet.
I might not be able to.
What?
You might not have enough space to flap your wings.
You're gonna take this away from Adrex?
No, I'm not going to take it away from you. It's just I wrote a rule on the session 0.
Welcome to Flying Rules, asshole.
Yep, here we are.
Population us. Actually, population you, because I don't have feathers.
You need at least a 20-foot cube to fly. That's enough rooms for you to stretch your wings out and get off.
Oh, you little shit.
You've got about 7 feet around.
All right.
Your wings scrape out as you start scrabbling. And Wendy, you just got a face full of wings for a few moments. You're like, motherfucker, that's not going to work. Stop it.
I'm new to this, okay? I'm trying. Adrex says.
The good news is that doesn't take your action or any of your movement.
How the hell am I going to get up as well? 6 feet up.
Climb up!
Are there climbing stones and shit?
I mean, not specifically for climbing, but it's the inside of a dry well, so you can climb up it at half your movement speed. You just have to make strength athletics checks to keep hold of it if you end your movement on the wall.
Sure. Let's move on up.
And you can use the dash action to double climb if you want.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That is a strength check of a 15.
So you climb, what, 30 feet up the well?
Yep.
So you start climbing your way up, and you hear the frantic shrieks of this thing about being lost as you move that direction. That guy's dead. That's going to bring us to Wendy.
Took away Adrex's first chance to fly and come
I think
back.
something even more depressing is about to happen to you right now.
Adrex laboriously climbs up the well as Wendy just runs up the side. waving goodbye to Adrex as she passes by.
You've got to be kidding me.
And then she's a real bitch and doesn't even throw him a rope.
No, because I'm using my bonus action to Step of the Wind to run, and then I am going to stab this purple boy. Well, I mean, I'm going to whip him.
Okay.
By stab, you mean whip?
I mean, by stab, I mean whip, yes.
It's not stabbing time anymore.
It's not stabbing time.
No, it is not.
Stabbing time was like a couple turns ago.
Yeah, now it's
Yeah.
Belmont time.
It's not even whipping time. Let's try that again.
I mean, you're still shaking off being really lonely right now,
Yeah. That's a 13 to hit.
so it's rough. 13 does not hit.
Alright, yeah, it's not whipping time.
But
Listen,
the
I
thing
was so lonely.
looks pretty relieved, though. As Raazu vanished, but then this delightful bird creature came running up out of the darkness and moved in towards it.
What's its threat range?
5 feet.
And I am going to head over here because I have taken a lot of damage.
That's going to bring us to Red.
Damn it, Red! And he just kind of he puts an arm out. No!
I need meat shields.
Okay. I mean, the main thing is I wanted to make sure it can't be adjacent to someone and not me. So, just take a... there? Yeah, that's fine. Just can't stand over the well. If we can levitate over the well, I'm sorry. Move to there.
Okay.
Pull out my short bow. Ready in action that if it comes up adjacent to one of my allies, I'll shoot it.
Okay.
And then, as a bonus action, Birdie gets advantage on his next attack against it.
Now, this might become relevant, but there's a rule in 5th edition I did not know existed until literally this week. If you're using a ranged weapon attack on a creature within 5 feet of you and it's not incapacitated, you have disadvantage on the roll.
You specifically said we weren't playing with that at the beginning of both campaigns.
Did I?
Yes.
I told you that,
Okay.
Ellen.
Because I was reading the book and I didn't remember that rule at all. So I'm going to
At
be
one
applying
point,
it
you
now.
were aware of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
anything's possible because I've got brain issues.
Yeah.
But I'm just
I
saying,
think
if
we
this
all
thing
do.
moves up into this square, you're going to be imposed with disadvantage on that roll.
Oh, well, if we're changing that, then I'll pull out my rapier. But
Okay.
like up until now, we have legitimately made the conscious exception to house rule that out.
I wasn't aware I had
Yeah.
changed anything. I'm
Yeah.
more talented than I
Yeah.
thought.
I
You were
brought it up.
you were very graceful to us once.
I brought it
You
up with
forgot about
Killian.
it.
That's why I remember it.
Then I learned
Yeah.
my lesson.
All right. So should I be using a melee or a ranged weapon if I think it's going to be in my face?
If it's going to move to this square, you're going to need a melee weapon.
Okay. Yeah. Then I'll pull out my rapier instead of my bow.
Okay.
You could
that's-
pull out a dagger and throw it.
He wants to get the sneak attack damage, though. It's going to be Raazu's turn next, and you are ethereal right now.
Yeah, so I'm basically just kind of like, what does the world look like to me now?
You can see, you can perceive, you can like see the world. Let me see.
As long as your arms aren't in a solid object.
You can only be affected by other creatures on that plane. You can walk through everything, can't affect with anything, and
Everything looks great, and you can't see anything more than 60 feet away.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Thank
You
you.
went past it.
Whew, excuse me. Sorry. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of step away from this thing once its arms pass through me,
Okay.
and then I'm just gonna kind of take a position back here and observe what's.
Are you walking
happening.
around Red, or are you just going to walk right through him? Like a boss?
I'd imagine I walk just straight through him once I twig to the fact that I'm just passing through people.
This gobbo gives no fucks. No kind of fucks.
Yep.
If you want to be super cool, you could walk over the.
Such
Well,
incredible
too.
disrespect.
No, don't think so. Not doing that.
No,
Nope.
if you try to walk over the well, you'll begin to fall because you have
Yeah,
consciously.
yeah. Birdie trying to get Raazu killed. Like, what the fuck?
You can move up or down if you want, but you're still bound by. Like, you can move through objects consciously, but if there's no empty space, you're still gonna fall.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Conversely, if Windy were on the ethereal plane, she would still be able to fly.
Yeah, I'm not gonna push my luck with this.
All right, you know who's gonna push his luck though? Oh, he
Oh,
might
he's
not have that
gonna
much
push me.
movement. 1, 2. Yeah, he does. He's got movement.
Stabbing time.
Yeah, and he's about to try to get Windy in this embrace. was a stabbing time
Go
again?
for an armor class of 20.
That hits.
It is stabbing time.
Finally, it's stabbing time.
Got the
Waiting.
clocks. Yep. This is not magical. For 31 piercing damage.
31. And this thing is horribly bloodied now. It needs a hug more than ever. Does it have advantage on its attacks? I don't think so. Alright, Wendy. Let's do
Alright.
this.
Let's do it.
I have a 15 to hit you,
No.
and I have a 22 to hit you.
Shield.
I'm going to shield that off.
I'm going to shield that off.
As it reaches for you with its arms, you maneuvering out of the way, but you realize there's kind of nowhere to maneuver to because you're surrounded on all areas by your friends, and you just don't trust this square for some reason. So you throw up the shield, and all of its arms bounce off, and the thing looks absolutely dumbfounded and very, very saddened by this development. And that's it for its turn.
I only have 28 hit points.
It's going to bring us to Birdie. Birdie, can you be the man?
I'm going to try. Sorry, my microphone went unmute. So,
You have like super advantage.
yeah. Use the good old super violence.
Super violence.
So that's a 17 plus 10 to hit.
Yes,
so
that'll
that'd
hit.
be 27.
That's this.
Put that out the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need one more d6. So that is 25 plus 6. Plus 6. So 20 to 31 magical piercing.
All right, that's enough. And the thing gives out a death groan as it dies and dissolves into black mist that curls up around the base of the well. After a few moments, you see the light emerging from the well, and Adrex climbs up and pulls himself out.
Adrex is singing "Moving On Up" as he climbs up the well.
That's terrible.
Brickroad, I'm spending 30 hit points of my lay on hands on myself.
Okay.
So moving on up, moving on.
Yeah, we all know the song. Thank you.
What's that song from, though, in this world? Real quick. What's that song from? Give me a good answer, by which I mean a bad answer.
It's a pirate sea shanty.
What's next? No, you can't put anything dumber in this world than the butt pirates. I'm sorry.
So, Birdie, where did you send Raazu?
She's there.
You can't talk.
He
Where?
can't talk.
Right. Birdie, I opened my mouth to say that, and then I looked very annoyed and turn around and just walk away. And go sit in the corner.
We know she's nothing. You don't have to say that.
I'm just sitting in the corner now, very depressed.
I'm gonna go check out the kitchen.
Okay. There's no more horrible potato monsters in the kitchen.
Okay, the potato monsters, I know they disappeared into black smoke. I am slightly disappointed they didn't fall apart into mashed potatoes.
They're not actually potatoes. They're not made out of potatoes.
Yeah, they didn't have any eyes.
If they were, I would be calling them Spudniks.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Alright, ouch. Ouch.
No Spudniks.
Potato golems.
What's next?
Potato mimics.
Anything going on in this kitchen?
No, it's just a very poorly maintained kitchen. And what few supplies there are in here are long, rotted, and useless. Other than that, it's empty.
Hey guys, everything hurts.
Should we take a... Well, I can't speak. Never mind. Carry on.
So is Raazu going to come back on her own? Birdie, you can shake your head no or yes.
Birdie shrugs.
Birdie, you're a magical expert.
You just poured a potion down her throat, and you had no idea what.
No, I know what it can do, but I can't explain.
You can't speak.
Treble is
Birdie.
going to stop playing.
I know.
Will she
Raazu.
be back here eventually?
Hey,
This is a question I should have answered when I generated this item, but I didn't. Roll a d8.
D8?
Yes.
Sure, why not? 3.
You are ethereal for 3 hours, and you have no capacity to end this effect early.
Oh, neat.
Birdie, will she be back eventually?
Birdie nods his head yes.
Will she be back in this space eventually?
Birdie nods his head yes.
So we have to wait here then?
Yes.
Short rest.
Where are you
Adrex
taking
shrugs.
this short rest?
Can we...
Here?
The kitchen and the storeroom both have doors. And very, very terrible odors.
So is there an odor in this room too?
Is there anything in this alcove?
There was a creature there, but it's dead now.
Okay.
I don't recommend the well. It's a little cramped in there.
God, Adrex,
I mean,
there's not even
everybody else
space in
got-
this room to fly back and forth. 'cause you
Can
don't have
I
20 feet.
I know.
can I empty out all the rotted materials? Just throw them down the well
Yeah.
to make this a little bit more livable.
After a few minutes work, you drag all of the nastiness into the well and just dump it in. You guys are going to block yourself into this room and take a short rest?
Yeah.
Well, Raazu can see us. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
I can watch all this happening. Razu's just kind of looking
Yeah, but
around.
you can't tell us that.
Yeah, I know.
Just Raazu popping
it
us quiet.
Is it going to be like today or this week or in a minute? Birdie?
So, Birdie, I'm
Mhm.
assuming you're the one who actually identified this potion, correct?
Yes.
The spell lasts for up to 8 hours. If you were to cast this spell, you could end the effect at any point you wanted. Raazu, however, drank a potion that mimics the spell. And she doesn't have any way to... If she were trained in Arcana, I'd let her make an Arcana check to try to end it, but she does not have that luxury.
Does
Well,
Birdie know how the spell works?
He knows how this potion works because he identified it.
So were you deliberately telling us that she can't follow us? Or was Birdie just being an asshole?
What?
I asked if she could follow us, and you said no.
She can follow you on the ethereal plane.
Right, but I have
No,
to
you-
ask Birdie that question.
You asked me if she
I asked
could come back
if we had to wait right here, and you said
Oh.
yes.
Oh, I misunderstood the question.
Guys, I know it's tempting, but we have to work under the assumption that Raazu can hear us and see us, not say things about her.
And she's plotting Birdie's demise.
Why would we say mean
mean-
things about Raazu?
Isn't Raazu going to get angry? Pretty sure that's how anger works with Raazu.
You know what? That's a good point.
Raazu,
Hey,
I just thought of something really mean to do to you.
I mean, you do a lot of mean things, Rickard. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Listen, I could not have known going into this adventure you were going to enter the ethereal plane, and I know a lot about the ethereal plane.
Gonna get
No,
picked
no
up by
doubt.
Eldov's magic hut.
What does Raazu do? All your friends, they talk about taking the rest, and you see Red moving some of the worst-smelling, offensive supplies out of the kitchen and dumping it into the well.
Raazu moves into the same room as her companions.
Okay. Everybody except Raazu. Go ahead and take the benefits of the short rest. Raazu, sitting in this room after a few minutes, as they're all discussing whether or not it's okay to say bad things about you, you become very aware immediately of a sixth person in the room. Just kind of sitting on one of the counters that Birdie's perched up on. Two things about this man. First, he looks very, very dead. I mean, pallid flesh. He's got gaping wounds where you can see into his bones and organs. His hair is scraggly and falling out in clumps. He's wearing what at one point might have been a knight's finery. Not the armor, just like the...
Regalia.
Yes, thank you. There's some heraldry on his tunic, but it's so badly worn and rotted you can't make it out. I guess you have an ethereal torch.
Yeah.
Very colorful, though, the places that are not threadbare or grayed. The second thing you notice about this man, he's sitting on this counter with his elbow on his knee, stroking this just scraggly beard. He's staring directly at you the whole time.
My allies don't appear to have not noticed them?
No, he's very much in the ethereal plane with you. What do you do when you notice this man?
Raazu grips her trident but doesn't raise it threateningly, and she says, "Hello."
And he leans forward as though he can't believe he's actually seeing you, like you're actually interacting with him. And he says, in a language that you not only do not speak, but have never heard before in your life, I'll make an intelligence. You don't speak Southling, do you?
No, but I have heard Red speak it, though.
But you don't speak it.
No,
make an
personally,
intelligence
no.
check at disadvantage. You can make this intelligence history if you're trained in history.
Not trained in history. That's a 12.
You've never heard this
Yes,
language
12.
before in your life. These words have never crossed your ears.
Raazu tries Moakton.
Mm-hmm. Do you just run through all your languages? Because he's not you. He don't speak anything in common. Not even
So
common.
yeah, Moakton, Undercommon, Goblin, Hobgoblin, Draconic.
And after you try all this, he's continuing to stare at and regard you for a very long time. Then he hops down off the counter, walks through the back wall, and vanishes from the room.
Well, that's unnerving. I mean, would that I could inform my compatriots of this, but that's not in the cards right now.
Okay. Is it your guys' intention to stay in this room until Raazu returns?
Mm-hmm.
Wendy spends the entire rest playing 1,000 questions with Birdie to figure out how etherealness works.
Birdie, you also do not get the benefits of the short rest?
It's like 20 questions, but it's way more annoying.
Birdie is just not listening. He's just closing his eyes.
Don't.
Raazu,
Hey,
after a few more moments, another half hour or so goes by, and two men walk back through the wall that the first one left. They don't have heads. Nothing above the neck. They're wearing leathered armor. Humanoid of some device. But their arms, their armor stops at their elbow. And their forearms are much, much hairier than you'd expect from a standard human. In their right hands, each of them is carrying what looks like a scimitar, but it's sharpened on the wrong side, where a scimitar is sharpened on the outside of the crescent. This is sharpened on the inside like a sickle would be.
okay.
One of them takes up position here, behind Birdie. The other one takes up position here behind Wendy. And they both just move these sickled weapons in front of your friends' necks and hold them there, like statuesque. After this happens, the man that you saw returns. And he speaks very haltingly, as though speaking a language he's never heard before, but has been told phonetically what to say. And all he says is, payment is requested for services rendered.
Raazu takes a very deep breath through her nose.
And does what?
And then says, "What payment?"
And you can tell that he doesn't understand what you're saying. He just repeats what he's been told to say. And then he kind of motions to the wall behind him.
Raazu heads that way.
Okay. So you're leaving out through the room?
Yep. I assume they're escorting me somewhere, right?
Just the man.
Okay.
Two, like, statuesque headless creatures are staying behind. And instead of taking the stairs, he just rises up through the floor.
I'll do the same.
Okay, and you find yourself in this room here, with the star is gleaming on the floor. It reminds you of the silvery sand at the base of the Kobold Tower that illuminated with fairy fire. It's giving off a ghostly light. Standing in the center, lighting a brazier of candles, is the hooded figure you recall.
Yeah.
And it says that in your effort to evade the Sorrow Sworn, you've made it a lot easier for him to collect your debt.
Raazu sighs. Yeah. You get yours in the end, huh?
And he holds out. See, he's in the regular prime material plane. He's not ghostly or anything like that. And neither is the ledger that he holds out to you.
Still has form when I touch it.
You're going to reach out and touch it?
Yep.
Yes, and you do press your thumb down onto it. How many hit points should I charge you for the time you spent reading books?
On the plus side, Raazu, I just rolled a 27 cooks utensils to make dinner.
So when you do come back in 3 hours, you're going to be very, very well fed. Raazu,
So
reduce your max hit points by 6 on top of what you've reduced before. Keep track of what your max hit points are supposed to be, obviously.
yeah. 94 now from 103. Here, let me just make sure that. Okay, yeah, the character sheet is maintaining control of that. So yeah.
Okay.
Good.
And the creature says, that when you return, you will find your companions quite safe.
I certainly hope so.
He is
For your
glad
sake.
that you have seen wisdom in this, and he snaps his ledger closed. And the man wearing the finery is standing aside with his arms crossed, waiting to see what you do next.
Once that happens, Raazu speaks and says, "Oh, so is our business concluded?"
He tells you that when this bout of trickery wears off, and he's speaking much more freely with you now. Earlier he spoke in very just short bursts, phrases that always sounded the same intonation every time he opened his mouth. Now he's speaking very conversationally. He tells you that when this bout of trickery wears off and you find yourself back on the physical plane, you and your companions should set my library to rights. You've left it in quite a state. If you do this and it's organized to my satisfaction, and nobody else takes the knowledge therein, I believe I can look the other way on your trespass. He's giving you chores, in other words.
Yeah. Raazu says, "I understand," and then goes back to the floor, back to her companions.
Okay. Do you do anything else during the rest of the 3 hours that you're waiting?
Can I take a short rest in the meantime?
If you don't do anything else, then yes, nothing else bad is going to happen to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and take the benefits of the short rest. And
You heard that. We got it on tape. Nothing else bad is going to happen.
Let's just go ahead and burn some hit dice, because I need them.
Yeah, after about 3 hours, you guys become aware of Raazu standing in the kitchen with you.
Raazu, it smells way better than when you left.
22. Raazu looks a little more haggard and a little more drawn. She says, first she looks to Birdie and she raises her fist and is about to drop it down on his head, but then takes a deep breath through her nose, puts her arm down, looks to the others and says, well, apparently we've pissed off the the owner of this place by making a
On the
mess
side
of
or
it.
in the real world?
Yes.
That's fine. He hasn't made me too happy either.
Well, he's asked us to set the library to rights. I'm on the hook for this, by the way.
Set it
How?
on fire? I could set it on fire. That sounds
Raazu holds up her hand.
Why don't Birdie and I go and start working on getting the library back in order?
Wait, what? Birdie looks very, very upset. You have
Raazu points to
volunteered
Birdie and her hand going toward her whip, about ready to
Birdie
chase him
is-
out the room.
Birdie is very hurt and
Or do you want to
upset.
answer some more of my questions?
Birdie makes a let's go motion to Red.
Yeah.
So it's going to take several hours, at least, to put this bookshelf back in order. I mean, there's thousands of books laying all over the floor. And so I guess the question is, are you guys doing the job correctly?
What is correctly?
Putting the books back on the shelves in the proper order, in the proper orientation where they're supposed to go, not just stacking them all up and leaving them.
Like,
Can we figure that out?
do we know that?
Yeah, that's something you could figure out.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. This is going to take the better part of 5 or 6 hours, easily.
And I'll tell the others, like, there's a lot of books. It's going to take, I don't know, maybe half a day.
And during that time, the shrouded figure emerges from various times, sometimes from the upstairs, sometimes from the downstairs, sometimes from one of the hallways, just to supervise for a few moments before leaving again.
What are the books about? What kind of books are they?
Raazu, did you explain that they're not supposed to be reading any of them?
Yeah.
Oh.
You can go
Well,
ahead
if
and
you
read
said that
them.
at the beginning, I probably wouldn't have volunteered, but okay.
Raazu, if you see the creepy owner, say I have dinner ready. I made way too much.
Well, what are the? I mean, I have to at least read the titles of the books to put them back in order.
Okay. And it's just a wide variety of subjects. Everything you can imagine in lots of different languages, lots of different forms of binding materials.
I want another romance novel.
No, Adrex, we're not getting any other. We're not getting in.
It was a really good story.
What are the three of you
think I
doing
like-
if you're not helping with this chore?
I think I like romance novels.
I'm gonna take a nap if you'll let me.
You what, Wendy?
I'm gonna take a long rest if you'll let me.
Not in
Yeah,
6 hours
that's
or
what-
not.
Damn.
I'll try. I'll start it. See if they disturb me.
Okay. What is Adrex doing?
Okay, he will join Wendy in the long rest attempt.
Where at?
I mean, if
I
they're
feel safe in
cleaning,
the kitchen.
you feel safe in the kitchen. All right, the kitchen it is. Wendy feels safe in the kitchen. Adrex feels safe in the kitchen.
Raazu, are you helping with the chores?
Yeah.
Okay, we can reduce the time it's going to take down to 4 hours. Adrex and Wendy, what are your passive perceptions?
18.
A butt.
18 and a butt. A butt is too low. Wendy's is like 4 butts, though. Wendy,
18 in the
Yeah.
butt.
you hear, not often, but every once in a while. Well, first of all, what's the state of this door?
I'll leave it open.
Leave it open? Okay.
Yeah.
Then you hear every once in a while a minor creak sound. Just, it sounds like something like you would crack a door open a few inches, working very, very hard to make sure it doesn't creak.
Uh-huh.
But if the door is old enough, it's going to creak no matter what. And that's what you hear. Just every
Yeah.
couple of minutes as you're sitting here over the course of the couple hours.
That's ominous.
While I'm putting books away, are there any books on the nature of the Shadowfell?
There are not.
Either in the pile or in the rest of the library? Okay.
I mean, it's possible that there are, but then we're going to get into like the library room rules that I wrote up again, which is going to involve you giving away maximum hit points to read an interesting book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Raazu will explain her interactions with the librarian and say, unless like anytime I interacted with him, I felt like drained afterward.
Adrex, what's your position in the kitchen?
I mean, I feel like that sometimes after interacting with Birdie, but you don't see me shunning him.
No, I don't mean
Adrex.
yeah.
Right where he is, right on the...
Okay, so you're just kind of leaned
This
up against the wall?
Yeah, right next to the door.
Okay.
What you can't see can't hurt you.
There's a whole barrel of potatoes right there. After 4 hours of work, you guys get all the books back in place. And there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to how the books are organized, alphabetically or by topic or what else. How you're managing to put them back is when you pick up a book, you just kind of instinctively move in a particular direction. And when you set the book on the shelf, there's like a satisfying... just a split second of satisfying feeling when it clicks into place. You just know that it's right. Like snapping two Legos together.
Are there any books on Yuan-ti religion?
Again, this is going to get into you eventually giving up maximum hit points.
Oh, I know.
Okay. As you start defying Raazu's instructions to avoid reading the books, you do start noticing topics on the backs of the spines in languages that you understand and a wide variety of topics that you're interested in. So what sort of book do you select?
Shadowfell, if I can find it. If not, anything on the local Yuan-ti religion.
Birdie and Raazu. After a couple hours of working, you see Red kind of moving over towards the lectern with a book in his hand, and he places it down and begins to peruse it.
Raazu calls out, Red,
make
Stop.
that wisdom saving throw.
Is this against magic or a spell?
It is.
Where's Raazu when this happens? Over.
Raazu'd be next to you, yeah.
I'm going to say Raazu's nowhere near him because you guys are all over this room picking books up.
That's an 11 on wisdom.
An 11. So you're reading this book on the Shadowfell and the nature of it. And it talks about a connection between undead creatures, especially ethereal creatures, ghosts, specters, and that kind of thing. And how this connection reaches through the Shadowfell to allow them to exist on the prime material plane in the form of poltergeists or the stronger versions or ghosts. And you start to learn quite a bit about this predicament. You learn that the Shadowfell touches the prime material in places called shadow crossings, and it describes where the membrane is very thin between the prime and the Shadowfell and how you can pass back and forth between it. You realize this must have been what, and before you realize, Raazu's yelling your name, Red, what are you doing? And you want nothing more than to shut her out and just continue perusing this book.
Mm-hmm.
Is he stop? Is he? He's not stopping.
He's not stopping.
Red, what's your AC?
17.
Raazu hits with a whip for
Can't just keep
5 damage.
You're just gonna crack him with the whip?
Yeah.
And Red, there's
Can I uncanny that?
that only works on if you can see, right? If you can see the
Yeah.
attack? Well, you can't because you're
Yeah.
staring at this book.
Okay.
But you feel the sharpness of Raazu's whip, and you're suddenly very angry that she's interrupting you.
Am I?
You're thinking you should probably take this book somewhere quieter where you have fewer interruptions.
Right. I think there's a little antechamber over here, like there was.
Raazu is not letting him out of their sight.
Okay.
Birdie would have snatched for the book before he got up out of here.
It's going to be an opposed strength check between Red and Birdie.
Alright. Can you beat an 11?
No.
Red, make a melee weapon attack against Birdie for snatching your book. I would have had you do this against Raazu, but she used a whip, so...
So that would be a 26 with a dagger?
You're attacking with a dagger. All right.
I mean, oh, wait. Am I compelled to punch him, or am I compelled to attack him?
I just said attack. You can draw your dagger if you want, though.
Yeah, Red isn't going to waste time punching someone.
All right. I think a 26 will hit.
Adrex.
Yeah, no, that gets me. Good job.
Should break the dagger inside him.
The good news is neither Raazu nor Birdie count as an ally for purposes of this attack.
Right. That's 3 damage. I'm sorry. 8 damage.
And yeah, Birdie snatches this book as you're starting to move away towards the hallway, get away from Raazu. And you just whip your dagger out and you slash across at him. And then the impact of what you've done is you see Birdie's blood on your blade. And all he's doing is holding this book and then nursing the wound with his other hand. And you snap out of the trance.
You'd
And
feel
at that
bad
point,
if you could.
the shrouded figure appears from around the side of a bookshelf holding his ledger, flips open to a page, holds it out towards Red, and says, "Payment is required for services rendered."
I mean, I'll look at the ledger.
Doesn't look like anything. It's just a ledger with narrow sheets of paper. But you
It doesn't have,
instinctively know what you're expected to do with it.
Oh, sure. Then I'll... Is it touched or sign it?
He just wants you to touch your thumb to it.
Yeah.
And reduce your max hit points by 1.
Okay.
He closes the ledger back up. He bows his head once in thanks. He looks at the work that you've done so far on the shelves. Then he backs away, disappears behind the shelves.
Does losing a max hit point count as a point of damage?
No.
If I'm already hurt, does that? Okay.
Not unless it happens from a damage source, which this didn't.
Okay.
There are some monsters that can do that, yes.
Oh, so yeah, I guess you're right. Raazu probably should have any books.
Raazu nods to
learned
think.
a great deal about the nature of shadow crossings.
No, we totally did. Like, that's actually useful. Do I think I could maybe figure out how to get us back out of here the way we came in after that?
Make a intelligence arcana check.
That's +3? +2. 14.
Okay. Thinking about what just happened and what you've read in this book in the few moments that you've had it, what caused the shadow crossing to begin with was Raazu falling under this trance, taking this book away. Once she was out of anybody's eye shot, that's when she crossed over, so to speak, which caused the membrane in this area to become much, much thinner, which made it more easy for the rest of you to find soft spots in the membrane and cross over as yourselves. I say soft spots. Adrex and Wendy both bumped their head a few times. So unless there's somebody else on the other side who's going to open the door in the same way, you don't see an immediate way back.
Okay.
Are there any books on magic?
How many times do you guys want to go through this?
Birdie,
I just want to see what titles there are.
what's your AC?
You don't know.
Is anybody else reading books in this room in the library?
Are there any cookbooks in Braille?
I mean, you're not down there, so...
I also don't read Braille.
I would
Then
know to
books on
catalog any cookbooks in Braille that I find.
Books on tape.
Adrex. A few hours after your friends vanish downstairs to work, and Red decides to take up studying the Shadowfell. You don't hear or see anything because you're sitting there thinking about Adrex things. And you're suddenly
The Harlequin
very...
romance novel, if you're being specific. That's what I was thinking about.
You're suddenly startled by a small face peering around the corner of this door. And it's a pale little girl. And her fingers are coiled around the door and she's kind of pulled her head out. She can't be more than 4 feet tall. And,
Human girl?
she has pointy ears. And you have... Are you still... Have your sword lit up?
Yeah.
In the light of her sword, she's completely monochrome. I don't mean she has gray skin and silver hair. I mean it looks like she should be in color, but she's not. And when she sees that you've seen her, she kind of squeals to herself and shrinks back out of your line of sight. And then you hear this very, very soft sound of her feet pat on the stone away from the door. And after a few moments, you hear a door close and latch shut.
Well, that was creepy.
And that's where we're going to end the session this week.
Adrex closes the door.
So no, nobody gets to take a long rest, because you can't get a long rest if you're creeped out the whole time.
I can't see the girl.
You're still creeped out because you're in the Shadowfell.
Damn it.
Just naturally creepy. So I've had to pee for the last 45 minutes, so I'm going to go take care of that while you guys think about where you're going to apply blips. I've got a lot of experience to give you, and I didn't intend for anybody to solo any of these monsters, so Raazu's going to run away with a shitload of extra experience this week. So I'm going to go dark for 2 seconds and expel my bladder and then do some math, and I'll be back.
Alright.
So who's creative today?
Oh, there was something really good, and I can't remember.
The potion.
Ethereal potion?
Potion was good. There was something else, though.
Honestly, the ethereal potion was a really good call. Because there's like no way the Birdie is going to get Raazu out of that thing's grapple. She was going to die if... She was going to die if Birdie hadn't done that.
Alright.
So I was eating splash damage that entire time. So, for who furthered the party's goals today?
Red for reading that book when he knew he wasn't supposed to.
I don't think that's a party goal.
Yeah, is that actually a goal?
Getting out of here is a goal.
Getting out of here is a goal, yes.
Like, I'm trying to figure out if we have to leave here or if we have to keep climbing through. Like, is this just part of the way up one of the rungs?
We haven't managed to climb 4 floors.
I was thinking Wendy for solving this puzzle. For solving the star puzzle and figuring out, like, hey, we shouldn't actually solve that.
Well, she figured out what not to do in a very specific way, but she didn't solve the puzzle.
You might be able to use it to, like, bind something else that isn't Raazu.
But I think
that would be a real dick move.
I think that's a party goal. Whatever.
Alright. Then who's a badass today?
I'm gonna say...
I'm gonna say Red for reading the book when Raazu told him not to.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. And who's a
Pretty
tangible? Intangibles. I mean, Raazu was quite literally intangible for 3
You're already
hours.
getting solo EXP. Don't get greedy. I'm gonna say...
I'm gonna say Red for accidentally shooting the potato.
I'm okay with this.
You know the joke in Men in Tights? They meant to shoot the hangman.
Oh yeah, Dave Chappelle. Yeah. Let's see here.
I love short rests. Short rests are so good.
They're pretty
Yeah,
good.
they are.
Get back on the short rest.
I get back all my superiority dice.
I used so many things.
I didn't have a chance to use a superiority die. I never missed.
What maneuver?
Yes, you did!
Yeah, but that still killed the potato. That was way too low for the...
I just realized that. You didn't even... You were like, yep, I'm going to shoot my companions. Should I use the superiority die, though? Nah.
It was like a 2 on the die. I wouldn't have been able to...
he had rolled like a 2 or a 3 on die. He wasn't going to hit with that.
Oh, that's funny.
Try.
I do have to express my appreciation because typically, if you were to have a dungeon and say like, "Oh yeah, by the way, nobody can talk," the players would be like, "Can we just like say what we were gonna say and just like understand each other anyway?" And I think most DMs would hand wave that. No, you guys spent the entire session just describing how you were pantomiming to each other and never ever clarifying what it was you were trying to say.
I mean,
Which was, of course,
good.
way more fun.
Yeah, that was incredible. I had a lot of fun doing that.
I mean, I have in my notes, like, I was prepared to just, like, allow, like, intelligence checks or something to be able to understand each other's mimicry or whatever, but this was better. Okay. I don't have any of my XP things open. I should probably do that now. Otherwise, I can't give you guys experience.
Or you have to give us infinite experience.
I think the option is if I don't open it, I can just give you 0 experience.
I don't like that option.
0
Nope, we
is, like,
become gods.
infinity in the wrong direction.
But do we get credit? Like, do we get interest on the experience we haven't earned yet?
I don't even know what interest is.
Wouldn't negative infinity be infinity in the wrong direction?
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, we're gods now, so.
Yeah, but gods in this world suck, I thought
We underflowed.
Yeah, we underflowed the XP counter.
We became the right kinds of gods after.
Should have used a quantum computer.
I kind of want to run a campaign maybe one day where like the player characters are all gods in a typical like D&D campaign world and just focus on how awful that would be. Because you've got like thousands of just adventurer followers asking you for dumb shit constantly.
What would my portfolio be?
Alright, let's give some...
Bad puns and min-maxing.
So,
I would be so powerful.
I've been wanting to use these creatures ever since I got a copy of Mordenkainen's. This is just the first time we've been to the Shadowfell. So they're called Sorrowsworn, and they've each got different stat blocks. They're just named after different emotions. So the guy who is trying to give you a hug is called the Lost. And the guy with the 60-foot long arm is called the Lonely. And you murdered the Lonely?
Which
And the Lost.
Which book is this from? Because I think I remember this.
Mordenkainen's
Tomophos.
Yeah, I do remember the Sorrowsworn. Damn it.
Authored by Hideo Kojima.
And the little potato monsters are called the Wretched. And there's also the Angry and the Hungry, who you have not met yet.
I'll take care of the hungry.
I think at this point, Red has been magically, emotionally controlled often enough. He actually
Is he going to start having real feelings now?
no, but he can explain it better instead of having to make vague generalities.
Until now
He's
he's just
better
like,
at faking it.
like, it feels like somebody's pinching your brain, but in a good way. Alright, so for 1 Lost, 1 Lonely, and 6 The Wretcheds, everybody is taking 1,640 experience points. Except for Raazu, who killed 1 The Lost all by herself. She is taking 4,540 experience points.
Jesus.
4,000 what now?
4,540. Because you got him all to yourself. And yes, if you
Yeah.
had not burned all those...
Spell charges, yeah.
Because that thing does a lot of damage. And once it grapples you,
Yeah,
it does it constantly.
Yeah, no, I don't want that. That was a good call on my part.
You don't want none.
Alright, who wants to make their case first this week?
I'll go.
I'll go.
Raazu,
Okay.
I heard you first.
Alright, I've got Raazu's Aspect, which my window vanished, so I have to bring it back here. Okay. Aspect, when my anger is roused, I have trouble thinking straight and I fear I might do something I'll regret for whipping Red for not following instructions.
Do you regret that, though?
A little bit.
Okay.
Might regret.
You regret
Might
whipping
regret.
anybody who's not Birdie.
Maybe.
Birdie just feels right.
I've got her alignment, good and evil are subjective distinctions. What matters is keeping to your own ethics. For warning the Lost, giving him ample opportunity to reconsider his course of action, and so that was that.
He just wanted a hug. That's all.
I've got my bond to Sword Arm is only the beginning of a greater world, but it is a necessary first step for putting so much into soloing that Lost.
All the stank.
Yeah, a lot of stank went into that fight. And my flaw, I take any advantage if I can, if it'll aid my allies regardless of the consequences, for being the first to be ensnared by this Shadowfell trap and taking it on herself to try and square things with the librarian.
Wendy, what'd you have for me?
All right, I've got monastic tradition redirection for saving Adrex through applied inkwell.
Okay.
I've got good is working for the benefit of something other than yourself for running down into the well, provoking 3 potatoes. I've got learning new things is never wasted for repeatedly asking what the goals of Mammon were. And I've got...
you never once read any of the books in the library.
I tried. And I've got... Wait, how does that work? For accidentally half-summoning a devil by playing with chains.
I mean, you picked the right things to connect.
Mm-hmm.
Adrex, do you have anything for me?
Yeah.
Are we going to hear about them, or...?
No. I'm figuring out how to sort them all.
Okay.
Bonds. My cool friends and I are working to make the world a place, and it's fallen to me to try and protect them. Oh dear. For goading the well monster to attacking him when he was very close to death. Even though Wendy was also in the well. Flaws, that sounds like a great idea for going along with Raazu's plan to get ensnared in the book, and then trying to deduce that, hey, this is also a thing I should try and do, even though he was eventually saved by Wendy. Aspect, signature style, energetic, for going all out for literally blowing 5 dice on the well monster, superiority dice. And Adrex.live journal.
Oh, I haven't read that this week.
Oh, I need to as well. Thank you for reminding me.
Birdie, what you got?
I've got the video, and then I've got my ideal. The accumulation of magical knowledge is something that makes me most useful for using my knowledge of what that potion did to save Raazu's life.
Okay. It also got into a little bit of trouble, but I guess Birdie's not concerned about that.
Less trouble than being sliced in, 6, 7, 8 pieces? However many arms.
That's fair to say.
And then Bonds, focus on the little things, make the tribe stronger any way I can, for pulling the book out of Red's hand, even though I knew it would get me attacked. And that's it.
And Red, what do you have for me?
So I have my it's often best to do what just needs to be done. Waiting for the others would be a waste of time for reading the book.
Mm-hmm.
Without talking to anybody about it. I've got my ideal. Cold hard logic will not argue to suffer for things motivated by something as fleeting as emotion, for just agreeing to pay the guy's price without any actual back and forth or anything. And that's it.
Okay.
Wait, do I have one? Yeah, that's it.
Alright, we give 1 blip for the most creative solution to a problem this session.
That was
I'm
me.
going to give that to Birdie for using the potion of etherealness.
And who furthered the party's goals the most?
That was Red for reading the book and finding out about the Shadowfell.
I mean, who was the badass this week?
It was also Red for reading the book, and when he knew he wasn't supposed to.
And we give 1 for intangibles.
I don't remember who
We
gave that
gave that one.
I think we also gave that one to Red.
For the potato shot is what my notes say, yeah.
Right, yeah.
Alright, let's go check this
For the
out.
wretched, I think is what you called them.
We have a 4-way tie on the straw poll. So I'll give it 1 more minute and see if that evens out. Raazu, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 for you. 1, 2, 3, 4 for Wendy. Looks like 4 for Adrex. 4 for Birdie. And 5 for red.
You said 4 for me?
Yes.
And they're 666, right?
I will double check that. Yes, 666 if they overflow into experience.
I think didn't someone hit 12, right?
And Adrex just pulled ahead in the straw poll. So Adrex, 1 extra blip for the straw poll this week. We've got somebody at... I thought 13. I thought Wendy had hit 13.
Yes,
Okay,
that's me.
But
Okay.
it's the same for 12 and 13. It's still 666.
No, I'm still 12. I'm sorry.
You're still 12.
666 now.
I thought we had somebody at 13. We're not quite as far into this campaign as I thought, I guess. All right.
That put me a huge leg up toward 12. Just soloing that one guy.
Yeah, you should solo incredibly difficult monsters by yourself more often.
Is
I
that
tried
fun
to
for
take
you?
out that boss, but he hit me into a hole.
All right, that's going to do it for tonight.
We still got 15 minutes.
Yeah, we
It was
ended
a
at
really big hole.
we ended at the correct time. We just got through all our blips and everything earlier than we normally do. I'll be back on tomorrow to play some more Super Mario Odyssey and World of Final Fantasy.
Yay!
And then we'll be back next Sunday for some more of this nonsense. Thanks for playing, everybody. See you.